In a lush green meadow there lived two best friends, Lucy the ladybug and Wally the worm. Lucy was bright red with black spots and loved exploring the meadow. She had a curious nature and enjoyed discovering new things every day. Wally, on the other hand, was a funny and energetic worm, always wriggling with excitement. He loved to crack jokes and make everyone around him laugh. One sunny morning, Lucy woke up early, excited about the adventure planned for the day. She fluttered her tiny wings and flew over to Wally's burrow. "Wakey, wakey, Wally," called Lucy. "It's time for our big adventure." Wally peeked out from his burrow, eyes still half closed. "What adventure?" he yawned. "We're going to the other side of the meadow to see the big oak tree," Lucy exclaimed. Wally's eyes lit up. He had heard about the majestic oak tree but had never seen it himself. "Let's go," he said, wriggling out of his burrow. As they made their way through the meadow, Lucy and Wally encountered many of their friends. They met Betty the butterfly, who was sipping nectar from a vibrant flower. "Hello, Betty," said Lucy. "We're going to see the big oak tree. Want to join us?" Betty fluttered her wings joyfully. "I'd love to," she replied. Together, the trio continued their journey, sharing laughter and stories along the way. They stopped by a sparkling stream where Sammy the Snail was basking in the sun. "Hi, Sammy," called Wally. "Come with us to see the big oak tree." Sammy smiled and slowly made his way over to the group. As they traveled further, Lucy pointed out various plants and flowers, explaining their names and interesting facts. "This is a dandelion," she said, hovering over a bright yellow flower. "Did you know that every part of this plant is edible?" Wally listened with wide eyes, fascinated by the new information. Soon they reached a field of clover, where Daisy the Dragonfly was hovering. "Hello, Daisy," called Lucy. "We're off to see the big oak tree. Would you like to come?" Daisy buzzed enthusiastically and joined the group. As they neared the oak tree, Lucy noticed the ground was covered in acorns. "These acorns are the seeds of the oak tree," she explained. "Animals like squirrels collect them and hide them for food in the winter." Finally, they arrived at the big oak tree. It was magnificent, with branches stretching out wide and leaves rustling in the breeze. The friends stood in awe, admiring its grandeur. Wally wiggled with delight. "This tree is amazing," he exclaimed. Lucy smiled, happy to see her friend so excited. They spent the rest of the day playing around the tree, discovering hidden nooks and climbing the sturdy branches. As the sun began to set, Lucy gathered everyone together. "Today was so much fun," she said. "And we learned a lot too." Wally nodded. "I learned about dandelions and acorns," he said proudly. The friends made their way back home, tired but happy. They knew that they'd always cherish the memories of their journey to the big oak tree. And with that, Lucy and Wally curled up in their cozy homes, dreaming of more adventures to come. The end. Once upon a time in the vibrant and bustling Coral Reef Kingdom, there lived two best friends. Horsefish, a seahorse who was always full of curiosity and loved exploring new places, and Starfish, who was as bright as she was charming. One sunny morning, Horsefish woke up with the grand idea to venture beyond the kingdom and discover the secrets of the open ocean. Starfish, though a bit hesitant, agreed because she never wanted to miss out on an adventure with her best friend. As they journeyed through the sapphire blue waters, they came across a colorful parade of tropical fish. The fish performed a synchronized dance, swirling and twirling in perfect harmony. Horsefish and Starfish clapped their fins excitedly, promising to learn the dance steps themselves. Their first stop was at the seaweed forest, where Horsefish met a wise old turtle named Tortoise Tom. "Remember," said Tortoise Tom in a deep, wise voice, "the key to the open ocean is to always stay together and help each other. Teamwork is the best way to overcome any obstacle." Starfish noted this advice, and they swam onward, feeling more confident. Next, they entered a dark, mysterious cave. Suddenly, glowing lights illuminated the path. It was a school of bioluminescent jellyfish. Starfish's eyes widened with amazement. Horsefish asked the jellyfish about the open ocean, and learned that it was full of hidden treasures and fascinating creatures. One jellyfish named Lila even offered to guide them part of the way. Push forward to their final challenge, Horsefish and Starfish found themselves at the edge of an underwater volcano. The waters bubbled and hissed around them. They remembered Tortoise Tom's wise words and decided to face the challenge together. With Starfish's quick thinking and Horsefish's bravery, they carefully navigated through the volcano's tricky currents. Finally, they arrived at the open ocean. It was even more enchanting than they had imagined. They saw towering kelp forests, playful dolphins, and shimmering sunken ships. They marveled at the beauty and diversity of their underwater world. As the sun set, coloring the waters with hues of pink and orange, Horsefish and Starfish made a pact to explore new places and always share their knowledge and adventure stories with others. They swam back home, their hearts full of the wonders they had seen and ready to inspire their fellow sea creatures in the Coral Reef Kingdom. In the cozy town of Whiskerville, there lived a very fluffy white cat named Fluffy. She wasn't just any cat. Fluffy had the softest fur and the biggest, bluest eyes you had ever seen. But the one thing that made Fluffy happiest was her favorite wool thread ball, a gift from her grandma on her first birthday. This wool thread ball was no ordinary toy. It was magical and could do incredible things. Fluffy's best friend, Mousie the Mouse, always said, "You and that thread ball are inseparable." One sunny morning, Fluffy woke up to find her precious thread ball missing. She looked under her bed, behind the curtains, and even in her toy chest, but it was nowhere to be found. Panic set in as she imagined a life without her beloved thread ball. Determined to find it, she set out on an adventure through Whiskerville. First, Fluffy visited the wise old owl, Ollie, who lived in the grand oak tree at the town's edge. "Ollie, have you seen my wool thread ball?" she asked, her eyes brimming with worry. Ollie adjusted his spectacles and replied, "I haven't seen it, but perhaps the mischievous raccoons might know something." Off Fluffy went to the raccoon's den. There she met Randy and his siblings who were playing with shiny trinkets. "Have you seen my wool thread ball?" Fluffy asked. Randy scratched his head. "We found a pretty colorful ball this morning by the riverbank. Could it be yours?" They led her to the riverbank, but the ball was not Fluffy's thread ball. Feeling disheartened, Fluffy decided to visit her friend Bella, the bunny, who was always full of surprising information. "Bella, my thread ball is missing. Have you heard anything?" Bella twitched her long ears and said, "I heard that Silky the spider spun a large web in the meadow today. Sometimes she catches things she doesn't mean to." Fluffy dashed to the meadow where, sure enough, she saw a giant sparkling web. Silky was sitting in the middle, knitting with her 8 legs. "Silky, did you catch my wool thread ball in your web?" Fluffy asked cautiously. Silky looked thoughtful and responded, "I did find something soft and fluffy in my web. Is this what you are looking for?" She gently plucked Fluffy's wool thread ball from the web and handed it back to her. Fluffy couldn't contain her joy. "Thank you, Silky, thank you so much," she purred, hugging her thread ball tightly. As Fluffy trotted back home, wool thread ball secure in her paws, she realized that her adventure taught her something valuable. She learned about the different animals and their ways of helping each other. From that day on, she cherished her wool thread ball even more, knowing that it brought her closer to her friends. And of course, every evening you could find Fluffy and her friends in the town square of Whiskerville, playing together, laughing, and making new memories. They lived happily ever after, knowing that a missing wool thread ball could lead to the most unforgettable adventures. Once upon a time in a bustling town called Ottoville, there was a lively red car named Ruby. Ruby wasn't just any car. She had a knack for adventure and loved making new friends. Ruby had big, expressive headlights that twinkled like stars whenever she was excited. One sunny morning, Ruby woke up to the sound of birds chirping and engines roaring. She revved her engine with glee and decided today would be a perfect day for exploring. As she rolled out of her cozy garage, she bumped into her old friend, Benny the Blue Bus. Benny was huge, with lots of windows and a booming voice that could be heard from blocks away. "Good morning, Ruby," Benny honked. "Where are you off to today?" Ruby's headlights sparkled. "I'm going on an adventure. Would you like to join me?" Benny's big wheels turned playfully. "Absolutely. Let's see what we can discover." Together, they drove through the lively streets of Ottoville. They passed by Timmy the tiny taxi, who was dashing from corner to corner, and Lucy the lovely limousine, who was carrying some very important passengers. "Hey Ruby, Benny," Timmy beeped, weaving through traffic. "Heading anywhere exciting?" "We're going exploring," Ruby replied. "Want to come along?" Timmy's taillights flashed with excitement. "Count me in." The trio of friends soon found themselves at the edge of Ottoville, where they met Rocky the rugged truck. Rocky had just come back from a delivery, his tires muddy and his truck bed filled with stories. "What are you all up to?" Rocky rumbled. "An adventure," Ruby exclaimed. "Would you like to join us?" Rocky's grill formed into a smile. "Would I ever?" As they traveled, each vehicle shared fascinating facts. Benny the bus explained why buses are essential for transporting many people at once. "We reduce the number of cars on the road, which helps prevent traffic jams and reduces pollution," Benny said proudly. Timmy the taxi talked about the convenience of taxis. "We help people get to places quickly when they're in a hurry," he explained. Lucy the limousine shared secrets about luxury travel. "It's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about the experience," she said. Rocky the truck told tales of long hauls and the importance of delivering goods. Ruby listened to all her friends and learned so much during their adventure. As the sun began to set, she realized that exploring wasn't just about discovering new places. It was about learning from others and sharing those moments with friends. "I had the best day," Ruby exclaimed as they all parked under the twinkling stars. "We should do this again soon." Ruby's friends agreed wholeheartedly. And so the vehicles of Ottoville continued their explorations, with Ruby leading the way, always curious, always learning, and always surrounded by friends. Once upon a time, in a quaint town nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, lived a curious little boy named Timmy. Timmy loved books, but there was one book he cherished above all others. It was called the Magical History Book. This book wasn't just any old book. It could talk, laugh, and even fly. One sunny afternoon, as Timmy settled into his cozy reading nook, he opened the Magical History Book, and it began to glow with a warm golden light. "Hello, Timmy. Are you ready for an adventure through history?" the book asked in a cheerful tone. "Today, we're going to meet some of the most famous characters in history." Timmy's eyes sparkled with excitement as the book rose into the air, its pages flipping rapidly. First stop, ancient Greece. They landed in the middle of a grand amphitheater, where a wise old man with a long beard was deep in thought. "Who is that?" Timmy whispered. "That's Socrates, the great philosopher," the book replied. He loved asking questions to make people think deeply about life and knowledge. Timmy waved at Socrates, who gave a friendly nod before the book whisked him away to the next destination. In the blink of an eye, they were in the snowy mountains of Mongolia. A fierce yet kind-looking warrior rode up on a magnificent horse. "Is that Genghis Khan?" Timmy guessed. "Indeed it is," the book said. "He created one of the largest empires in history, and was known for his brilliant strategies and leadership." The warrior waved, and soon Timmy was off again, this time landing in the middle of a bustling Spanish court. A tall, regal woman stood before a map, deep in discussion with her advisors. "That's Queen Isabella," the book explained. "She sponsored Christopher Columbus's voyage to the New World." They continued their journey, meeting famous characters like Leonardo da Vinci, painting his Mona Lisa, and William Shakespeare, writing his timeless plays. Each encounter was filled with fun facts and surprising tidbits. Timmy learned how Albert Einstein developed the theory of relativity, how Joan of Arc led armies into battle, and how Marie Curie made groundbreaking discoveries in science. With each turn of the page, the book provided vivid illustrations that brought these historical figures to life. Timmy saw the pyramids being built in Egypt, the knights jousting in medieval tournaments, and the astronauts taking their first steps on the moon. "History is amazing," Timmy exclaimed, his mind buzzing with all the new knowledge. At last, the book gently floated back to Timmy's reading nook. "Thank you for the incredible adventure," Timmy said as he hugged the magical history book. The book glowed softly, almost as if it was smiling. "Remember, Timmy, the best way to learn about the future is to understand the past," it said. And with that, the book closed, waiting for the next time Timmy was ready to dive into the wonders of history again.